Talk City, a weekly podcast, features interviews and events happening around town. Tune in to Talk City Greensboro every week on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play, and download the podcast from SoundCloud. Hey, everybody, and welcome to Talk City Greensboro, an easy way to stay in the know while you're on the go and keep up with what's going on in Greensboro city government. I'm your host, Josh Johnson, and back in the studio again with me, because he was here last time, but he's back again. Wrapping up our Parks and Rec month is Mr. Devin Smith.
Hello. How's it going?
Good.
It's Friday.
It is.
We all like Fridays.
It is. I'm glad you put the easy way to know what's in the go back in the. You're changing the script on me again, man.
Yeah, it'll be different next time.
I know it will.
All right, well, like you said, we're focused on Park and Rec for this month, and we've talked to Jennifer Hance, we've talked to Jenny Mackins, we've introduced the drone rodeo.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind.
Yeah, we've even talked to Assistant City Manager Chris Wilson, but we could have not ended this month more perfectly with talking to Nasha McCray, the Director of Parks and Recreation for the City of Greensboro. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
I'm happy to be here.
Well, I didn't want to ask you the series, like the usual questions, how many miles of trails and all these things, but I did want to know.
I have it committed to memory just in case.
You're going to kick her off here.
Yeah.
She's just giving us the facts.
Yeah. So if someone just moved to Greensboro, they ran into you, they didn't know you were the Director of Parks and Rec, but they wanted to know, what could their family do in the city? What could they do to be active, get outside? Rex, what would you tell them to get into?
That's a great question, and actually you answered it because there's so much that we have to offer. We literally have something from the cradle to the grave. And that, I think that's one of the things that's so unique about our department that a lot of people don't realize, that we have like both ends of the spectrum and everything in between. Mm-hmm. And so, we do kinder music programs, for toddlers. We have arts and drama classes. We have centers. We have athletics. We have hiking trails, mountain biking trails, skate parks, pools, spray grounds. Yeah. We have all types of parks, gardens. We literally have cemeteries. So when I say cradle to the grave, I am not kidding. And everything in between. So, I definitely think, that's one of the huge assets and the draws that we have here in Greensboro, because unlike some of our sister cities in the state, we don't have beaches and, we don't have mountains.
Yeah, right.
So we have to be a little bit more deliberate about, how we, what we offer to make it attractive here. So I definitely think, and I'm not biased in any way, but Parks and Recreation and what we have is like one of the things that is like a huge attraction and attractor for this city too.
Yeah, it definitely is.
And a lot of what we do have here are elements of those things. I mean, we have water, we have lakes, we have spray grounds, we have trails. You can mountain bike here.
Right.
So yeah, you can.
I mean, you get a taste of those.
You do. And where we're located, I think, is a huge plus, too, because we're, no more than, a couple of hours from the coast to the mountain. So we're in a good spot.
I mean, you can drive there if you want.
I'm good here.
You could actually bike there because, again, the trails connection,
that's right.
You got mountain to sea trail connections, too. So
that's right. Yeah. That's right. Well, tell me a little bit about Plan to Play. What are some of the key highlights that you love about the new comprehensive plan?
I love the entire plan. So a little bit about me. Well,
Next question.
I'm not necessarily paid to say that. But for me personally and professionally, Plan to Play is like a huge accomplishment. Not just for the department, but in my former life, before I became a Parks and Rec director, I was a planner. So that's kind of how I started my career in local government. And so doing master plans and things like that, I've always been interested in working in the community and trying to figure out, how we could make improvements or how we could make things work for, for residents and things like that. So being able to translate that into the Parks and Rec field and use that skill to take the department to a higher level is really exciting. And that's what I think Plan to Play does. Mm-hmm. And so a little bit about the plan itself. It was unanimously approved in February of 2019 by council. So that in and of itself is awesome, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we worked on that plan for a little over a year with staff throughout our department, with community residents, a lot of our partners in the community, to get feedback on how we as a department can meet recreation needs for the next 20 years. And so the thing I like most about the plan is really that community engagement piece. And that's the thing that makes it really unique, because our staff was able, for the bulk of that whole process, we had over 40 different types of community engagement events. So it wasn't like we were expecting residents to come to us to tell us what they thought. We were actually going out into the community, meeting them at events, going to their neighborhood meetings, being really creative about how we were getting that feedback. Yeah. And so we actually were able to touch at least 7,000 people in the city to find out, what they liked about us, where we could improve, just to get their feedback to build this plan. So, what's really cool, like I said, is that it's a truly community-driven plan. And so I think that's probably the most exciting thing about it. The other piece is that it creates a clearer vision for us. So when you tell somebody 20 years ahead, try to look into the future, that can be a little difficult, especially for people like me. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm going to do next week. But, 20 years down the line, and we're looking at trends, we're looking at how much Greensboro has grown and changed. Just in the last 5 years, you look at downtown and that development, things that we weren't even thinking about 5 years ago. A good example I use when I talk about Plan to Play is, new cell phones come out every year. And so, if you think about when we first had our last plan 20 years ago and the things that have changed, we were, it was a pretty good time for us to go ahead and look at how we could make some changes going forward. So having a clear vision of how we can enhance, expand, and connect better with Greensboro, keeping up with national recreation trends, keeping up with the needs in our community. I would say those are some other exciting things. And what was revealed through those processes also was really exciting about, how the community was really actually happy with what we've been doing and how much they enjoy our parks. They actually really like what we already have. They didn't necessarily say overwhelmingly that we needed to build new things. They just wanted us to really take care of what we already have, and they wanted to know more about what we were doing. Cool. So we have a lot of folks that come to our facilities. We have over 4 million people that visit our parks and come through our doors. And so they know what they're coming for. They just don't know what else we have beyond that. So it's like now we know we have to do a better job of telling our story and making people aware of what else we have.
Speaking of that, after this quick break where we'll give some announcements about what's going on in the community over the week, we got a question about an award that Parks and Rec is up to win.
Yes.
We're here with Nasha McCray, who's the director of the Parks and Rec department for the city of Greensboro, and we've been talking about Parks and Rec all month, and we're going to end it with the simple fact that Parks and Rec is a finalist for a gold medal award. Would you tell us about that?
I would love to. So we are really, really excited and honored to be recognized on a national stage. So we already know we're like the best at what we do. And so this is further confirmation. And so what this means for us is the American Academy for Recreation and Park Administration and the National Recreation and Parks Association. They essentially honor communities throughout the nation that demonstrate excellence in long-range planning and best practices, community involvement, and different innovative approaches to parks and recreation. And so there are 7 classes of competition, and so they determine it based on population size as well as a category for state parks and for military. And so what I want to make sure to emphasize is that even though we are a finalist in 2019 in our particular class, we've actually won this award 3 times prior. So we're almost as good as the Dallas Cowboys, even though I'm not a Cowboys fan. But we already have 3 gold medal awards. And so essentially in layman's terms, that is like the Super Bowl for the Parks and Rec industry. Wow. So we won it in 1979, 1987, and in 2002. So we're really excited to be recognized this year, and it's really a great honor. for even our staff. One of the things that I do brag about and that I love most is the people that I get to work with. Mm-hmm. And so our department put a lot of effort into not only just applying for it, but the things that we do each and every day, to produce the programs that we do and run and operate the facilities. And so this is kind of like a pat on the back and confirmation for them, for the passion and the dedication that they have. So we will find out. The judging starts on June 3rd. Mm-hmm. And so we actually won't find out until September at our National Recreation and Parks Conference live if we won or not.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so the pressure, right?
Yeah.
So I've already picked out my outfit because I've already envisioned, carrying this award home. And so in our category, we're competing against 3 other phenomenal agencies, Metro Tacoma Park, so I think it's Tacoma, Washington, Tampa, Florida, and Norfolk Parks and Recreation out of Virginia.
Yeah.
So we're gonna give them a run for their money.
Oh yeah.
Now that conference, wasn't that here? That was in Greensboro in 2018. Is that correct?
In 2017, we actually hosted the joint state conference.
Okay, that was the
so
state
there's state chapters that fall under the national umbrella. And so this was the first time that we hosted a joint conference with South Carolina, the chapter of Recreation and Parks Association. Mm-hmm. And every other year we host a joint conference with them, and we alternate between it being in a North Carolina city and in a South Carolina city. Right. And then on those off years, we host our own. And so in 2017, that was the first time we've hosted the joint conference here in Greensboro. And there were over 1,000 Parks and Rec professionals from North Carolina and South Carolina that came here to Greensboro. So it was a great time.
Yeah.
It was a really great time.
It's a good event.
Yeah, I mean, not to keep repeating it, but I will. I mean, we do have one of the best Parks and Rec, departments in the state. It's really in the country.
Well, and when you get 2 states worth of Parks and Rec folks together, now that's a good time.
That is a grand
you guys
old time.
know how to have a good time.
But it's good too, like trading, industry information and networking, with your peers, across the state. And it's not very often that we get the opportunity to do those type of things. And so, and even to showcase off what Greensboro as a city has to offer. And then, to be able to learn from other folks that, do the same work that we do. It's a really great event.
Yeah. It's one thing to be really good, but it's another thing to be really good and still want to get better.
That's right. That's right.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, thank you, Nasha, for coming out and telling us all about the goodies that are coming from the Parks and Rec department.
Mm-hmm. My pleasure.
It's great to have you.
Thank you.
Stay tuned in weekly by subscribing to Talk City Greensboro on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. And don't forget, you can download Talk City from SoundCloud.
That's all we have for this week. Thank you for tuning in to Talk City. Be sure to watch GTN, your official source for the latest news and information from the city of Greensboro. GTN is also available on Spectrum Channel 13,
AT&T UVerse Channel 99,
North State Channel 31.
GTN also streams live on the city's website at greensboro-nc.gov.
We've been getting that one for a couple weeks.
Yeah, we're getting on that. I like it. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Nasha.
Thank you.